All right, with today's lesson, ladies and gentlemen, chapter 2.2, we're going to be looking at translations. But a part of translations is looking at something called transformations. Does anyone know what it means to transform something? Does anyone know what it means to transform? Yeah. It turns it into something else. In this case, we are not going to actually turn it into something else, but we're going to be relocating it as we move it on either a quadrant plane or just in general moving a shape from one part to the other. So a transformation changes a figure into another figure. The new figure is called an image. So when you take something and move it and you hear me say, what is the new image of that? That's what we are talking about. The one that we're going to just focus on today is called translation. A translation is a transformation. So it is going to move a figure from one spot to a new to give you a new image. But a translation, what it does is it slides. So it's like taking an object and not turning it, not rotating it, not flipping it, but just leaving it how it is and pushing it either up or pulling it down or moving it right or left from its original position. It does not turn it, does not flip it, it doesn't rotate it. It just slides the image completely. Now with this, we're going to be doing this a lot in quadrant planes. And there's something that you should know, but I want to make sure that we all know it before we move on. Does everyone understand X and Y axis? X-axis is the horizontal axis on a graph. When we move something right on the x-axis, we move it in a positive direction. When we move something left on the x-axis, we move it in a negative direction. That understanding will help you greatly, especially in translations, when we start asking you to take a quadrant point and move it or translate it units one way or the other. Okay? The y-axis is vertically. So you guys all understand the difference between vertical, horizontal. Think of horizontal, laying on the floor. Think of vertically, trying to get vertical or get up and down as high as you can. Okay? The y-axis is vertically. The positive will move it up the y-axis. If we say something is negative on it, it's going to move it down. Right? Now, a quadrant plane is the last thing that you have to understand. In a quadrant plane, there are 4 quadrants. And they move in a counterclockwise format. So quadrant 1 is going to be located in the upper right-hand corner of your quadrant plane. So this is quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 is really unique because each of the x and the y points in there are always going to be positive. So if it's in the x-axis, it's going to be a positive, and if it's in a y-axis, it's going to be positive. So your x and y points are always going to be positive. Moving counterclockwise from there, we go to quadrant 2. The only thing that changes here is now that the x value is going to be a negative. The y value still stays positive. Dropping down to quadrant 3, both are negative. These are your negative Nancys. There we go, Miss Corneli, right there. Okay, positive Pete's, negative Nancy. Should be back there. And then finally, quadrant 4, x-axis is positive, y is negative. Now, these will all come into play throughout this whole rest of this chapter. Okay? All right, so the first one, tell whether the blue figure is a translation of the red figure. So just on your table, quickly, ladies and gentlemen, say yes or no. So you have A and B. Is the blue figure a translation of the red figure based off of our definitions that we just had? Quickly, take about 10 seconds. That's weird. Oh, here. All right, so if we just take a look at this blue figure, this first one, is this blue figure a translation of the red figure? Who would like to answer that one? Kim? Why? It's exactly the same shape, same size, they're congruent, and all you did with it is do what? You slid it, okay? So this point right here and this point right here match up. You just slid it to there. This point and this point match up. You slid it down. Here to here, slid over here to here, okay? So you just slide it over to that new position. What about figure B then? Jacob? Okay, Hunter? Why? Yeah, they actually flip the shape or turn it onto its side. So it's not slid. Remember, it has to stay exactly as the original image. That original image is just moved one way or the other to push it to a different area. In this case, it is flipped down. This would actually be a type of rotation when we get into it. So it's still a certain type of transformation. So in this case, figure A, that is a translation. It just slid that figure, and figure B is not. Okay? All right. I'd like you to go ahead and do this one on your own at your table. We'll come around and check it out. These two pictures right here, take a look at them. Tell me if they're a translation, or if you know the other type, let me know. So, would you like me to do this one first with you guys? Or do you want to try it? Let me go ahead and do this one first. Now, with a translation, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start putting these figures on a coordinate plane. If you notice here, the coordinate plane is kind of, they're not giving you all four quadrants. They're kind of giving you just like a snapshot of it. It says translate the red triangle 3 units right and 3 units down. What are the coordinates of the new image? So the first thing I want us to do is tell me what are the actual coordinate points for A, B, and C on the original triangle. So if I'm asking you what is the coordinate point for point A on that triangle? Hunter. So he's stating that the point for A is -2, +1. This is for point A. Now remember, how you list your coordinate points is the X first and then the Y. So it's kind of like a grid. Starting from 0, how many to the left did I go? Well, in this case, he said I went -2, and then I went up +1 to give me A. What about B? Go ahead, Ashley. All right, so B is over 2, +2, and up 5. And then C. Olivia. +2. So these are original coordinates. Now it's asking us, ladies and gentlemen, to rewrite the coordinates so we go 3 units to the right and 3 units down. Now this is where our positive and negative stuff comes into place. If it tells us to move it up, you are then going to add whatever it's telling you to move it to the Y value. So in this case, it's telling us to move the Y value up or down? Down. So we have to do what to our Y value? Yes, sir? Subtract. So it wants us to move them 3 units down. So in this case, if we take and minus 3 from 1, what is our new value? Jacob? -2. Okay, let's get all the Y's. 5 minus 3. Be 2. 2 minus 3. -1. So these are all our new Y's. What's our new X's then? It's asking us to move them 3 units to the right. So if we go back to our notes, positive means right. So anytime you move something right, you're going to add. So in this case, we need to add 3 units to every single X value. So the first one would be 1. Second one, 5. Third one, be 4. There's your new coordinates. Then you just need to put those coordinates onto the grid itself. Yes, Jaden?
Isn't there like a much easier way to do this? Like
that is the easy way right there.
Oh, because like when I just take point B and move it, do 3 units right.
So this is what Jaden's saying. Hey, if I have to move this one 3 units right, I'm going to start right here. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 units down. 1, 2, 3. And mark it there. If you have a coordinate plane and you have the original written there, yes, you can do that. But what if I just give you points? That's the reason I'm going through it this way also, okay? Because we could have done that for all these. All right, I got to move right, 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3. There's a new point. Well, 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3. New point, new triangle, okay? Does that look like a translation of the original? Other than my drawing's a little messed up, okay? Now, your new points will also be labeled kind of uniquely. They're going to put a little dash above the letter. That is the new. So the original will have nothing. It's just going to be A, B, and C. The new will have that little parenthesis, or no, apostrophe above it, dash or apostrophe above it. Okay? Any questions on that? I can't tell you enough. Up and down, left and right. X and Y, what does it affect and how does it affect it? Okay, as soon as you know that, a lot easier this is going to be.
And then the first number and like the 1 and 2, so first number is X.
Yep. First number is X and the second number is Y, always in your coordinates. They're always listed that way. Okay? Go ahead. Give me the points, ladies and gentlemen, for this next one. With the square, they give you the vertices. These are all the points on the square. They say that A is at 1, -2, B is at 3, -2, C is at 3, -4, and 4 is at 1, -4. They want you to draw the new figure in its new image after translating 4 units left and 6 units up. Like I stated before, probably the easiest thing to do with this is to rewrite these. So in this case, rewrite all your coordinates down. We have A, that is 1, -2. B, 3, -2. C, 3, -4. And the last one is D, 1, -4. Then from here, what do we have to do to move these? What is it telling us we have to do? Olivia.
Remove 4 units to the left and 6 units up.
So we need to move each one of these 4 units to the left. Left means what? Hunter. Thank you for raising your hand. So we're going to subtract. So in this case, each one, that's awesome, put up the chart. Each one we are going to subtract, was it 4 units?
Yeah.
4 from it. Okay, what are we going to do with our other units? Olivia?
Add 6.
We're going to add 6. And then all you have to do is then solve those, and you will get your new coordinates. Now watch your negatives here, okay? So in this case, 1 minus 4. Hunter, -3. 2 plus 6, -2 plus 6. Yes, 4. New coordinate for that one would be -3, 4. Next one, 3 minus 4. Yes, -1. -2 plus 6. Olivia. 4. Next one, we have 3 minus 4. Negative what?
3.
-1. -4 plus 6. +2. And then finally, 1 minus 4 would be -3. And -4 plus 6 is 2. There are your new coordinates for that spot. Yes, Connor?
When you're putting like the letters down for the last one, I forgot, how do you do
Oh, so the new image, all you're going to do is put an apostrophe above it. That's showing that that's the new image. That's it. Okay? It's tedious, ladies and gentlemen, mistakes that you can make. Not writing down the coordinates right. Mixing up your x's and y's. Forgetting that x moves it left and right, and y moves it up and down. Okay? When it says move it left, it is a negative. Right is a positive. Adding and subtracting. Up, adding. Down, subtracting on your y-axis. Okay? So